I was 12 the summer we found the house. It wasn't in town exactly, more like just outside it, set back in the woods at the end of an old path no one had any business going down. The trees had swallowed the trail years ago, but if you followed the creek past the broken fence and ignored the no trespassing signs, you'd eventually see it through the trees. An old Victorian mansion, half rotted and slouched with age, buried in ivy and silence. The McAllister house. The adults never talked about it, not even once, and that silence was louder than any story they could have told. It was like the whole town had agreed not to remember it. We only knew the name because Marcus's older brother had whispered it to us like a curse, then told us to forget it, or risk ending up like them. We didn't know who they were, and we didn't ask. But that's the kind of thing that makes 12-year-old boys want to find out. It was Danny who dared me. "Bet you won't go inside. All the way to the tower?" he said, grinning like he already knew I'd do it. The others laughed and hooted, and that was that. I ducked under the half-fallen gate, heart thudding in my chest, and followed the overgrown stone steps to the front door. The air smelled like damp earth and dead things. The lock was already broken. I pushed the door open and stepped inside. The house was still. Not quiet. Still. Like time had stopped moving the moment I walked in. Sheets hung over furniture like ghosts at rest. Cobwebs draped from chandeliers and sconces, the wallpaper curling in on itself like it was trying to hide. I passed through rooms that seemed too large for how small I felt. The tower's staircase waited near the back, narrow and steep, made of wood that whined beneath every step. At the top was a small room soaked in the gray light of dusk. A tall window stretched open to the sky, and in front of it sat a woman. Her hair was pinned up in an old-fashioned way, and she wore a dress the color of dried rose petals. At first glance, I thought she was just someone who'd stayed behind, forgotten, like the house itself. She turned to me slowly and smiled. My, she said. Her voice was soft, like the rustle of curtains in a draft. "Look at you. It's been such a long time since I've had a visitor." I took a step inside, and that's when I saw it. Off to the side, half covered by an old blanket near the window, a figure, slumped and sitting on the floor. My breath caught as I realized it was a skeleton, still dressed in the tattered remains of what might have once been a hoodie and jeans, child-sized. The jaw hung open like it had been screaming. One arm was stretched out, fingers clawing toward the door. The woman didn't seem to notice the direction of my horrified gaze. Or maybe she didn't care. "You came down the path, didn't you?" she said, standing. Her movements were smooth. Too smooth. "They don't come anymore. Not like they used to. But you did." I nodded, numb. She looked me up and down, her pale eyes bright with something I couldn't name. "You were just the right size. And clever, I can tell. You should stay. We'll keep each other company. I'll teach you the old games, the ones they've forgotten." Something shifted then. The walls seemed to stretch. The air turned thick like breathing through syrup. I saw for the first time that her feet didn't touch the floor, that her shadow didn't match her shape, that the corners of the room were darker than they should be. Too dark, but alive with movement. I backed away. Her smile stayed fixed. "Where do you think you're going?" she asked gently, stepping toward me. "You're mine now. You came down the path." I ran. The stairs buckled beneath me, the walls moaned, the very air seemed to press against me. I tore through the rooms past shifting shadows and whispers that slithered through the halls. The door fought me, but I threw myself against it and landed hard on the stone steps outside. Just as I hit the grass and scrambled to my feet, I heard it. A scream. High and sharp, splitting the evening air like glass breaking inside my head. It wasn't just angry. It was wounded, like something ancient had just realized it had lost something it never expected to lose. It chased me through the woods, that sound, echoing between the trees long after I stopped running. My friends were still waiting at the edge of the woods. They saw my face and didn't ask questions because they had heard it too. We didn't talk the whole walk home. I didn't sleep that night, or the next. Even now, as a grown man, I dream of that house, of her standing by the window, waiting, always waiting. And in the dream, when I step onto that path, I feel 12 again, powerless. She turns to me with that soft, hollow voice. "You came back," she says. And the worst part is, sometimes I want to go back. Now, after all these years, I understand why no one ever talked about that house. It's not that they didn't remember. It's that they knew they shouldn't. And maybe they were too afraid they would.